Alright boys, what's going on? Hope you guys are doing well. Last video I said I was going to play Simba, so I had a couple series with Simba actually. I had 3 series with him, and I played him in arena a couple times. That's about it. But this is like the first actual series that I had with him. And we're just playing some dart games. If you guys don't know who Simba is, he's, in my opinion, is the greatest dart player of all time. This is not clickbait, by the way. I'm not trying to clickbait, but I do think he's the greatest dart player of all time. A lot of top players agree with this as well. I don't think he's just the greatest dart player of all time. I think he's the greatest dart player right now as well. Like, this guy is really good, and you guys will see. But this is just a standard start. I think it's the meta start with dart. You just go for a 1-0 farm. I want to try to over-explain this as well because there's a lot of beginners, I'd say. There's probably some beginners here, so I want to try to explain as much as I can. But I just go for the 1-0 farm, and then what I do is I send 3 blues, then I go for a 1-0 dart. And then this point I send 2 more balloons, and then I just go for my triple dart as soon as I can. But it's really important to go for your 1-0 farm, and that way you get 2 bananas round 1. And what I do here is I send reds. I'm just trying to get up some eco. Simba does an interesting play. He doesn't send reds off the bat. He sends them later, and he doesn't send red. He sends pinks. Like, he sends a lot of pinks afterwards, and he loses a bit of money from this, but he's just trying to make me leak. And doing this makes me leak a lot. And I think this is Simba's like specialty. Like, I've seen like him play like a lot of players like Sinful and Sheep, I'd say. I haven't seen him play Sheep, but Sinful, he makes people leak a lot. Like Sinful, I was watching him. He actually like leaked down to 2 lives, and Sinful is a really good dart player as well. So Simba makes you leak a lot here. So he goes for his farm, but I think he got his farm a bit later than me. Yeah. So what I should do here is spam him greens because I'm gonna have more money. Like, I have $1,000. He had like less than that, so I should just like spam greens, and he's gonna leak a lot more. But Simba just sends greens here, and I send him a bit later, which is not good actually. And I even go for my dart here, and I'm just playing it safe. But this is not good. Like, I'm leaking a lot here, and I balloon boost a bit later, and he sends pinks as well. And this is not good. Like, as you can see, I'm at super low lives. I think maybe I messed up my targeting, or I think I balloon boosted late and I sent greens late. I think he's face palming me here because I leaked a lot. That might be why. But now he sends greens again, and I'm not trying to just not send greens, because if he sends greens that I don't send greens, I'm just gonna be down a lot of eco. So I don't want to be in a position where I'm losing. I don't want to be outplayed. Like, that's the worst thing you can do in dart games, is just get outplayed. So I send greens back, but the thing is, I don't want to leak down like super low lives, so I just go for a third trip. This is not really that good actually. Like, having a third trip is not that good because now I'm gonna have to end up selling it later on, and I'm gonna lose a bit of money from that as well. Goes for a farm. I do the same. The thing is, like, I don't know what his eco is either, so I kind of just have to guess by the way he's playing. Like, if he sent like a lot of yellows, I would assume that his eco would be really high, kind of like that. So I just kind of like think in my head, what is his eco? But he goes for his farm. I probably should have gone for my farm here actually, maybe, but I don't. I just played safe actually. I think I should have went for my farm. That was probably a mistake. I don't know what Simo would have done. Maybe he would have balloon boosted. Probably not, I guess, but I think I should have went for my farm because now he's gonna be up a lot of money here as well. But I have some extra eco, but he has his farm, and he has more farms than me, but I have some extra eco. It's probably like kind of close. Apart from the lives, he's up a bit of lives for sure, but it's probably okay. Like, I think his position is really good because Simba likes to bank a lot, and I don't really do this that often. But Simba goes for his bank. That's his specialty basically. He just goes for banks, and bank is really interesting. Okay, I'll pause this for a second. I'll talk about bank later on, but I gotta focus on this because it's getting kind of interesting. I went for my farm here, which is really bad because I had no money. He actually punishes this. Like, his rushing is insane, but he punishes it, and then I have to boost. It's unfortunate because he didn't send that much, but I had to boost regardless because I'm at low lives. But I end up sending him a rush back, but he just defends. And now I'm in a really sus position. Like, I don't have a lot of money, and he actually layers his zebras a lot. And the thing is, this just goes through, and I can't really defend that. I try to defend, but he just layered it with so many pinks, and I didn't have that much money. I don't want to sell my farms either, because selling your farms is not that good. I probably had to sell my farm there, but I got too greedy there, and I just ended up losing the first game. So fair play to Simba. He won the first game. What I would have done differently, probably just like not sending him that much. Like I countered with too many balloons, I'd say, and then I didn't have enough money to defend the rush he sent me. I probably should have sold my farm too. The thing is, like, I don't like selling my farm because you just lose so much money from doing that. Like when you're playing dart, you just want to not go like sell farms as much as you can because you want to just like have as much money as physically possible. And yeah, what I was talking about the bank earlier was that Simba just spams banks. Like bank is like very interesting. A couple of years ago, like it was really like off meta. People would like not really go bank. They would just go for a BIA instead. But what Simba does is that he goes for an early bank and then he ends up going for his BIA a couple rounds later. People like there was a couple few people that went for bank like a couple years ago. Like in 2021, there was this dude called Hoopin who was like a bank player. He would usually go for his bank like round 14, but he would get up his BIA like around 19 or something. It was really late. But Simba does like interesting stuff. Like he goes for his bank like really early, like sometimes round 12 or 11, and that's very early. And at that point, he can get up his BIA like round 15, and that's very tough to beat if you're not going for a BIA. And I kind of have to adjust to that. I don't play him often, so I don't know what he's really doing, but I need to adjust to that for sure. And he's doing the same stuff like last game. It's really similar to last game, actually. Like, he sends pinks later on, and that way he loses a bit money because sending balloons early on, I'm going to get like a couple more dollars just from the eco, but he's forcing a couple leaks as well. And that's really nice for him because then that way he can send a lot of greens and just like make me leak like crazy. So at this point, with DFA, you need to always be doing something with your money. If you're not, you're just going to fall behind. So we can either go for our farm. No one really goes for a second farm at this point at round 6. It's always better to just send greens. Usually it's better to send greens, but we both send greens, and he bloom boosts as well. And I'm not really too sure what I'm doing here. I just stop sending, and I go for another dart. Simba doesn't go for his third dart, which is really interesting because I think the reason why he didn't go for it is because he wants to send more greens. Plus, I just went for my third dart, so I'm probably not going to have enough money to send greens as well. So he thought that I'm not going to send him greens, so he's not going to go for his third dart. And he saves a bit money as well because you don't want, like, eventually you're going to have to sell your third dart, and he doesn't want to lose extra money from that. So that's probably his thought process, I'd say. That's probably how Simba thinks. But the thing is, like, I think he's up here because the thing is, like, there's also the mental part. I think the mental part is something that people don't really talk about, I'd say. And the thing is, like, if you're playing someone like Simba, right? Like, the thing is, I know the way he plays. He's so aggressive. And, like, think about it like this. Like, if you're playing basketball first, for example, like, say you're playing against LeBron James. Like, if you know you're playing against LeBron James, it's way harder to just, like, play against him because there's a lot of pressure going into that because you know just, like, how good this guy actually is. And if I'm just playing against, like, a random arena player, like, I'm just gonna just play normally, like, play the best I can. But the Simba is, like, you can't make a mistake. And if you mess up, like, once, he's just gonna punish you. And it's just, like, there's a lot of pressure going into that as well. Also, these games were streamed as well. Like, Simba was like, yo, you should stream these games so people can watch. But I was streaming, there was like probably like 10 people in voice chat like watching this live. So that's something like that adds on to the pressure as well, I'd say. But going into this now, he goes for his farm. I can't really punish that. Like if I balloon boost something, he's probably just gonna defend. He has 3 spikes as well, so it would probably just be a waste of a balloon boost at this point. Now we're just farming here. Like there's no point really in rushing round 12 because you're getting, like, round 12 is a really fast round. So if I need to, like, get money, I'm going to get, like, bananas that come in, like, fast. And I can just defend rushes, like, pretty easily. And you can't really rush anything around, like, 12 as well. Like, it's only, like, whites. So top players usually farm that round. They don't really send, like, rushes. But I send him a rush here. I'm trying to just force a boost. I know that Simba likes to boost against these rushes a lot. But he actually ends up greeting here because he has 3 spikes. And somehow he defends. On Battles TV, he like leaked like a lot of lives, but he just ends up defending. At this point, like, this is a very good rush because I just have no money, and otherwise, I almost died here too, bro. Like that was crazy. He sent so many zebras that I almost died there as well. But that was a very good rush because if I tried to defend that without boost, I just would have died. I had no money basically, and he kind of just countered there, and I didn't have enough money to just defend that, so I had to boost. So he's up a boost now, which is actually interesting as well. He's going Dart Farm Super as well, and I'm going Dart Farm Ace. I forgot to mention that, but Simba likes to go Dart Farm Super as well. I'll talk about that later, but I'll talk about these rushes here. We both send rushes round 16 because round 16 you can layer a lot with the AI, and the AI has a lot of zebras and stuff, and basically you kind of have to boost that. I send him a counter rush here, and he goes for his jug, and now I have to defend his counter, and thankfully I have a lot of money saved up, so I go for the second jug, and this actually ends up defending, which is actually really clutch. I thought I probably had to sell a farm there, but this is actually really good for us. Apart from the fact that I'm down a boost, I'm not like too far behind. The thing is, I don't know how far behind I am, so like that's also a mental part. Like sometimes I feel like I'm just losing, and if you think that you're losing, you're just gonna play worse. So yeah, Simba decides to send a Moab, and this guy is a very Moab type player. Like he plays very weird, I'd say. Like he doesn't play like traditional. Like he sends a lot of stuff that I don't see a lot of people play. Like he doesn't like he sends Moabs here, and Moabs can be very like scary. And the thing is, I'm thinking about ODSing here, and the thing is, it's so sus. So I just end up like fan clubbing. I lost so much money from that. I sold the farm. I went for the ODS. I sold the ODS. I lost so much money. If you're wondering why he's sending a shocked face, it's because I'm going Dart Farm Ace. And the thing is, I'm not that common into the super like scenarios and stuff. I'll talk about that too. Like basically, Simba was just a Dart Farm Ace player. This guy only plays Dart Farm Ace, right? But like a couple years ago, not a couple years ago, like probably like a year ago, I'd say, this guy like he started playing Dart Farm Super in Dread Balloon. Like he just went Dart Farm Super. I don't know, but I think he's like the main guy that popularized it. Like popularized it, I'd say. But there's this guy called Ryan Mahalik. He used to play Dart Farm Super as well. But I think Simba like popularized Dart Farm Super in like these mirrors. Like even on offside, like no one would go Dart Farm Super on offside. People will go Dart Farm Super on Temple, but not on this map. And Simba was the main guy that popularized it. Like I'd say, I think I if I had to make a guess on what happened, is that Simba just discovered Dart Farm Super and found out that it's just like it's much better like late game versus DFA. Probably isn't like too much better on offside, but like on late game map like Dread Balloon, you can spam temples and go like round 50 or something. But I think Simba just discovered that, and he played against a guy called Melly Ray or Sabid, and Sabid discovered this. He played Simba, right, and I think he got destroyed or something. I don't know what happened. I wasn't like paying too much attention, but okay, I'll talk about this. I'll talk about that story in a bit. But I go for my FAQ here, and thing is, I could have matched the BIA, but like, I don't know. He just went for his BIA, so I just went for my FAQ instead. And BIA is just pretty difficult to beat. I think the only way to beat it is to just match it. You can go for a FAQ too, but going for a factory is just much harder to compete with BIA, I'd say. So if I was trying to just try to have like similar farms, I would BIA here. But let's go back to the other story. So Simba played this guy called Melly Ray, who's also a really good dart player. If you guys might know who he is. But I think what happened is that Melly Ray got destroyed, and then he's like, ain't no way. This super is insane. So he started playing super too. And then eventually he started playing... What the heck just happened? My bad. I sent him a Moab here. He just boosts. It's whatever. But basically, Melly Ray started going Dart Farm Super. And then he played against a guy called Gold Sheep. And then Gold Sheep got destroyed by him. Like Melly Ray uploaded on Gold Sheep, and then Gold Sheep would just play DFA as well. So then eventually Gold Sheep started playing DFS, Dart Farm Super, and then like basically there's like 1,000 people in arena playing Dart Farm Super. Probably not 1,000, but like that's basically how people started playing Dart Farm Super. If I had to make a summary, it's probably not like super accurate, but that's what I think would happen, bro. But basically at this point, like, this is kind of like the slower rounds of the game. Like at this point we have so much money that we're just trying to farm on, man. Like prepare for late game and just do whatever. And Simba spams a couple of jugs, and he sends leads here as well, so I just go for a 4th jug. Just play it safe. And this is somehow getting by. Like I almost died here, I remember, but I actually go for the fan club by mistake. That's just so stupid. That was by accident, but I think I lost like 1.5k from that. It isn't like the biggest deal, but that's like kind of little things, man. Like you don't want to do that. And I go for my second fac at this point. I'm just trying to farm on, just do what I can. I can't send him any rushes. Like some people might say, what if you send him a ZMG? That actually might not be a bad like idea because he's going dot farm super. That's one of the differences between DFA and dot farm super. Like if you send him a ZMG, he's gonna have to tech terror that, and that's very expensive. But if someone sends me a ZMG, I can just ground zero it. So maybe I could have done that, but I just didn't want to do that because I just played safe. And yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't even, that wasn't even in my mind at this point. But I could have probably sent him a ZMG. But I think at that point I probably would have been down a lot of money actually. You never know though. Maybe it was a good play. I don't know. I don't think it was, but maybe like in the future I might try to send him a ZMG. And also the reason why I don't go dart from super is that I just haven't been practicing dart from super. It's like relatively recent. It's not that recent of a strategy, but honestly, man, like DFA is like the OG strat for me, man. Like I can't just give it up like that. So that's why I don't really go dart from super that much. I'd say if you know how to get good farms, dart from super is probably the way to go. But I haven't been practicing it a lot actually. Like I don't go it that often. And that's mainly the reason why I didn't go dart from super. I just wanted to go late, and if I just like repeatedly get destroyed late game against him, I'm probably just gonna stop playing DFA and go dart from super instead. But I just wanna just play dart from ace as well as I can. If it doesn't work, I'll end up going super. But that's what I was thinking. I didn't want to just play something that I'm not like too familiar with. So that's why I didn't go dart from super in this game. And Simba is BIA spamming here. And this way, I'd say it's a good play because I'm probably not going to rush him soon. I'm going to rush him eventually, but the thing is he's just trying to build up his eco. And that's just what his plan is. I don't know when he's going to go for his factories, but yeah, it's like his eco is nuts right now. Like 3k, that's pretty good actually. That's really good. So he's in a really good spot, I'd say. And what I'm thinking is that I'm gonna go do not disturb because these guys are sending a lot of messages. I could probably like turn those messages off, but I didn't do that yet. Like I got lazy, so I might do that eventually actually. But basically I end up going for my Spectre. And yeah, I just need that for round 32. If you guys don't know, if you don't go for a Spectre, you're just gonna be dead to round 32. Or you can get up a ground 0, but you really need it for round 32 because round 32 is a very deadly round. Simba goes for his Sun God. Nicely done. I don't know if Sun Gods are better than Robos actually. That's a good question, I'd say, because I think the Sun Gods got nerfed before. So maybe like Robos are better. I don't know now, but Simba goes for his Sun Gods. Like I think he likes Sun Gods more. Don't know what's better though, because what I heard before was that they were like basically equal, but I think Robos are cheaper now. I think Sun Gods, the price of Sun Gods got nerfed. I think a couple like passage ago or something. I think a couple updates ago it got nerfed, but yeah, I'm just farming. My farms are kind of mid right now. I don't know. I think it was mainly because of the Moabs he sent. I made like a couple mistakes as well. I don't know. Maybe I would probably have to rewatch this game, but I made like a couple mistakes. That's probably why my farms are like this right now. But I don't know. I think it's might be because he sent like a lot of Moabs. That might be why. But the thing is, it's pretty hard to get good farms against Simba as well. Like he sends a lot of like annoying rushes. But I'll speed this up. Nothing really too important is happening. But what I'm thinking in my head is that I want to rush him soon. And if I rush too late, he's just gonna have so much money. So I'm just like preparing here. I'm gonna start rushing soon. And yeah, he fills the map with like BI. So now I send him a ZMG. I probably could have waited a couple more seconds. I think I mistimed it. I wanted it to go on round 35, but it's going to be slightly weaker because it ended up spawning round 34. But now Simba, he goes for his 2 Sun Gods now, and he goes for his fan club as well. Something I could do that's interesting is I could send Region Rainbows, and that could probably overwhelm his Jugs. And if his if his like all his darts are on strong, you could probably kill him. But I didn't really think about that. Like, it's kind of like the attention to detail. Like, I gotta think of like small stuff like that. I think that's something I can improve on. Like, I just try to play like simple. I'd say I gotta think like out of the box sometimes. Like that, I think all his darts are on strong, so I could have probably done that, but I don't know. But now Simba, he's preparing here. He's trying to defend. He goes for 2 tech terrors and he just dies. And that kind of caught him off guard. I think he played too greedy. Like, I think he just like he started spamming, and then I think he just played it too greedy. And he the thing is, like, he underestimated how strong round 34 ZMGs are. Like, the thing is, like, I didn't send him like round 32, so he wasn't that prepared. Like, he probably thought that it was gonna be way weaker, but I think it ended up being way stronger than he imagined. So he waited too late. He tried to like double tech terror that, but it wasn't enough, so he ended up dying. I was losing a lot here. Like, I was getting outplayed a lot. You guys can probably tell, but the thing is, he just has so much money, but he just got too greedy, and I think he just underestimated how strong that was gonna be. So I ended up taking a dub. I wasn't like too happy with this dub because it's kind of like anticlimactic. Like, I was getting outplayed, but he just ends up dying. So I'll take it, but like, I wouldn't really want that to be like a win, if you know what I mean. Like, I want to win, but I want to win like properly, man. And this is our 3rd game of the series. And yeah, man. I can also say there's a lot of stories I can tell you guys about this guy, but basically, man, like, there's another like insane story about this guy. So, like, you guys probably did not play this game in 2018, but I ended up playing in 2018. I wasn't like super competitive, but I played like every now and then. I played in the summer actually, because what I would do like in 2018 seems like a long time ago to a lot of you guys, but I would usually play on my PlayStation. I used to play this game called Overwatch. I still play Overwatch, and Fortnite as well. I used to play those games. But like in the summer, what happened was that I was in a different country, so I didn't have my PlayStation. So I ended up playing battles. Like, the entire summer I was just playing battles. But even though I was a noob though, because I rarely played battles, so I was trying to get better. And then my main strat was DFA. Even back then my main strat was DFA, but I thought it was trash because I kept losing. I kept losing a lot with DFA. I got destroyed a lot, so I thought it was trash. So basically I started playing Heli. Even though I was bad at both strats, but I'm kind of rambling on. I'll try to get to the point of the story, but midway in like 2018, I think in July or August, there was this tourney that NK hosted. It was called the Ninja Kiwi Open Final. It was like a fire tourney. I think the fire was the theme of the tourney, but it was like there was like 4,000 people in that tourney. So, like, Aliens Rock, he's another YouTuber that I used to play back in the day. He was in that tourney. Boltrix also participated in that tourney. So I'll tell you guys what happened. So I ended up playing in that tourney, and the map was Snowfall, and basically I went Heli Farm Boomer. I still remember this to this day. And this guy sent Recent Rainbows round 13. I tried to glaive Lord, and I freaking died. I got so pissed because the thing is, it was best out of 1. So I lost that whole tourney there. I was so pissed, bro. I was so sad, bro, because I wanted to play this tourney, but I just ended up losing first game. It was so sad, bro. But basically, man, like, there's 3 sets of this tourney. The first set was like a 16-player tourney. It was like random people. It was 4,000 people in that tourney. It was like random people that played the game. You just had to register. And then it was BO1. The second set was like a BO3. And the third set was a BO5. And Simba was in the third set in a BO5 because he won the other 16-player tourneys. In the whole tourney, it was 4,000 people. And he ended up actually winning that tourney. And I saw him live winning. I saw him beat like this guy called Leon, who's a really good dart player as well. I don't know too much about this guy, but a lot of people telling me that he was like an OG, really good player. But basically, I saw him beat him live, and he won that tournament, and it was 4,000 people. And at that point, I was like, I thought DFA was trash, but this guy proved to me that it wasn't. So that it was actually insane, bro. Like, that's how much I respect this guy. And that's kind of like the mental part as well. I know how good this guy is. I'll probably talk about the mental part a bit, like, in a couple of games. There's so much to talk about, bro. Like, it sounds like I'm yapping right now. You guys are probably like, this guy's just yapping. But there's so much to talk about, bro. Like, you guys might wonder, like, do I just, like, I do these videos unscripted, but, like, how do I do this? But there's just so much stuff to talk about, bro. There's so much stuff. But I'll go back into the game. I was rambling a bit. I'll talk about some couple stories in a bit as well. But at this point, man, like this is the third game. Simba is winning here, I'd say. Even though I have a couple like decent eco, Simba's just gonna bank, and I don't really have any like response to that. Like, I'm just gonna be down so much money. He sends a rush here. I'm kind of fine to that actually. I thought that would be scary, but I have a couple lives to spare, and he just banks round 11, and I'm like, there's no way he just did that. That's crazy. So I try to like, I'm thinking like, there's no way he gets away, but I send him like so many like whites here, and maybe I should have sold like a spalt. He leaks a bit, but he ends up defending somehow. Like he leaked a lot though. Like that was very sketchy. Maybe I should have sold like a spalt. I think like I should have sold a spalt there. He probably had to boost that, but the thing is I don't want to rush too much because if I end up sending a spalt and like a trip or something, I'm gonna have like so less defense. He's just gonna try to like counter her or something, and I might just be done. So I don't want to. I didn't want to like over eco as I did like in like the first game, I'd say. But like I'm in a interesting spot now. Like I can't really do much, I'd say. Maybe I could go for the bank, but I'm thinking like there's no point in going for the bank now. Like I'm in an interesting spot. But Simba, I sent him like a lot of zebras there, and Simba just boosts. So what I'm thinking now is that I want to try to make him sell. Like that's my only option here, because eventually he's just gonna BIA. I'm gonna be down so much money. So I'm thinking about making him boost round 16. I'm not gonna balloon boost it because he's gonna. I think he's gonna have to boost this regardless. He just went for his BIA too, so I think like he's gonna boost this regardless. I don't think he's gonna have enough money to defend. So that's my thought process there. I was thinking like there's no way he defends this without a boost. So I end up rushing him. And now at this point I'm like I need to make him sell right now. So I send him rainbows. And I saw he himself do this kind of rush. Like this is the rush that Simba does against like people. Like I copied his own rush against him. And he just dies, bro. That's so sick, man. I don't know why the screen keeps switching. But he actually dies there. And I was so hyped after this game. Because the game before this, I'm like, that was kind of just like a sloppy win. I got the win, okay. But I'm like, I was so hyped after this game, bro. I was so hyped. I'm like, there's no way. I was actually so hyped. And it was Simba too, so like, I was actually hyped, man. So it's like 2-1. It's 2-1 now. And yeah, that was the third game, right? Yeah, that was the third game. So I'll do another game here. I actually played Simba like 3 times, actually. Like 3 different sessions, actually. This was like my first session against him, like first series actually, that I'd say. Like I played him in arena, but those are like random games. But this is the first time I asked him because he has his own server actually. I forgot to mention that, but this guy's doing like MCOTH. It's basically like King of the Hill, basically Monkey King of the Hill. That's what MCOTH stands for. It's like basically there's like a lot of tryhards, and there's gonna be like 1v1s and that kind of stuff. It's like a elo rank. You try to get to like the king status, try to get to the top, kind of like that. But he has his own server. If you guys want to join it, if you're trying to get good, I would recommend. Like, there's a lot of tryhards. There's a lot of sweats in that server. But if you're like someone that doesn't want to participate in a lot of toxicity, there is some toxicity at times. But that kind of just is what it is with like competitive like servers and stuff. Like there's like a couple like there's always like gonna be toxicity. But if you guys want to get better, I would recommend joining a server. I might link it if I remember, like his server. But yeah, that's what he's doing here. So that's how I met this guy. Like I talked to him. I'm like, do you want to do like a 1v1? And he's like, sure, bro. So I ended up playing him. That's basically what happened. And yeah, that's just going on. That's just like what happened. These games basically. And this is the last game of the series. I played him like 4 games this time. I'll show like a couple more games like later on. Like this is not gonna be the one time I'm gonna upload against him, but this will probably be it for today. I'd say this is gonna be the last game, but I'll upload more games about him like later. But I'll talk about another thing here as well. Like the thing about Simba is that there's also the mental part. Like when I was playing Simba, there's this guy called Sinful. Sinful, he's insane. He's probably second best. He could even be better than Simba, but he might be the second best dart player right now. Or the best, I don't know. But he's really good as well. But he was talking to me about these games. Like not this game specifically, like not these games like specifically, but like when I was playing him before, like in like the second series, he was talking about like the mental part as well. I think that's a really big part about playing Simba. Like Simba has like it's always about the pressure, man. Like the thing is like Simba does a lot of like aggressive stuff, and it's very hard to compete with him because the thing is like for Simba, right? When I send him rushes, I feel like it feels like I leak way more, and that kind of is like the mental part. Like I'm already losing, he's up like 60 lives on me. Like that's kind of like the mental part. I think that's like Sharkjaw. He's another good guy that plays this game. That's what he was talking about like in the series. He's like he said that the mental part of this game is probably like the most underrated part. And I don't disagree with that. I think the mental part is really important. I feel like Simba is like insane. It feels like I'm glazing here, but I'm just being honest, man. Like I know this guy's really good. The thing is like I forgot what I was gonna say, but the thing is like the mental part is like insane. I know this guy is Simba as well, so like if I know this guy is Simba, it's just like way hard to compete with him. Like yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say, but basically like Simba is very aggressive as well. Like his rushes are really nice. So it's like I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. Like if he sends like a rush, the thing is like I'm not confident. That's the issue, I'd say. Like I gotta be more confident, man. Like I gotta believe in myself more. The thing is like I know this guy's good, but I also gotta think like I can beat him. Like I gotta have that mindset. Like if I don't have that mindset, like if I don't believe in myself, like who else will? Who else will believe in me? And how will I even have a chance if I don't believe that I can win? Like I'm just like shutting my brain down by thinking like this guy is just way better than me. So I just gotta be more confident, bro. And that's just like that's like the advice that Sheep and Sinful were giving me like when I was playing him. When I was playing, that's like the advice they gave me. But yeah, I'll just like talk about this last like part of this game, and I'll upload some other games against him as well. I had some like NG games against him as well. I'll upload those too. But I end up sending him a rush here because he just went for his bank. I don't want to match his bank because I just don't have enough money to go for the bank yet. So I end up sending him a rush. He leaks a bit, but he ends up defending because he boosted as well. Like he needed to boost that. Otherwise, he's just dead. So I don't send him a counter rush. Maybe I could have actually. But I think like Simba is just like he's saving up so much money. So I felt like he would just defend. And I feel like it would be better to just layer with around 16 instead. So I think I'll probably just layer here. If I had to predict what I did here, I would just layer. Yeah, just similar to the game before this. I'll just try to like play like the last game. So I just sent him a rusher. I think he just has to boost that. Yeah, like there's no way he defends that. He's low in lives as well. He has like 15 lives plus like he just greeted. So and now Simba knows I'm gonna send him the rush. I like the I know he knows I'm gonna send him like a crazy rush. So he just goes for his jug at the top. And this point, he defends this way like nicer than the last game. I think it was because he just anticipated I would send a rush like that. Like I think the last rush caught him like off guard from last game. Like he got surprised by that, I think. But now I think I'm just losing here. Like I failed to make him sell his BIA, so now I know I'm just done. Like I'm in a really bad spot for sure. I can't even match his BIA. I could only go for a FAQ at this point. I sent him a rush here because he just sold his jug, but he just ended up defending. And now the rush was probably bad because now I don't have a lot of money saved up, so I'm gonna have to fan club this and sell a lot of stuff. So this is really sus. But I end up affording and just yeah, I remember like thinking like this is not good, bro. I think I might ODS, but actually I don't ODS because I want to save a bit of money. Like yeah. And he ends up sending another Moab. And I didn't expect this actually. He even balloon boosts it. So I try to defend this. And I'm like really nervous here because I did not expect that. And I think I'm going to die here as well because I have low lives. And it just goes through and I'm just dead. Because I did not expect that, bro. I think like also I shouldn't have gone for the top jug as well. I should have probably gone for the bottom jug instead. Because that would have helped a bit against the ceramics. If I had bottom jug instead, I think I would have defended that. But I think I was losing regardless because eventually Simba is just going to go for his factory. He's going to cash out his BI and go for a FAQ, and I'm just going to be down. But this was the first series I had with him, and ended up going 2-2. And we had like I played him like 2 more series. I'll probably upload like games from those series as well. But yeah, man, this was actually interesting. Screw it, bro. I'll upload one more game, but this is from the other series. I feel like I don't know how long this is, but I'll make it a bit more longer. So that was the fourth game. I'll upload one more game. Wait, I think this is this the fifth game? Let me just double check. No, this is the fifth game. I picked the wrong one. Okay. This is from the other series. But I go Dart from Ace as well. And another thing I'll talk about is that there's also a mental barrier as well. Because I know he's going Dart Farm Super. And in my mind, I don't think that I'm going to get destroyed late game against him. Even though some people probably think that Dart Farm Super is a way better strategy late game against DFA. But the thing is, I still believe that I can do decent. But in the back, end of my mind, bro, and I kind of, doubt myself a bit. Can I really beat this guy late game? He has Dart Farm Super. That's something to think about as well. I think, it's very hard to beat Dart Farm Super late game. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's, it's pretty hard, man. But I wouldn't say it's impossible. And that's what's going on in my mind. There's some stuff that if there's a 1% of winning, I'm still yeah, I can definitely win. That's kind of how I'm thinking. But and you never know too. I haven't gone late game against him either, so I don't know how well I will play against him late with DFA. So yeah, maybe if we have a late game game, that would be pretty interesting. But most of these games against Simba don't really go late. I think the reason why is just it's just his style, man. He has a style that I've never really seen before. He's so aggressive. He doesn't try to go late, but he sends a lot of stuff that's gonna throw you off. The Moabs as well. He's the only guy I see that actually sends Moabs. Sinful never sends Moabs. Sheep does not send Moabs. I don't think Melody sends Moabs either. But this guy sends so many Moabs that it just catches me off guard. That last game, I did not expect a Moab. And that just threw me off, man. And I think that's just what sets him apart, man. And his farming too. If I were to say some stuff that makes him super good, I'd probably say his farming, his targeting as well. He doesn't leak a lot. To these greens, he doesn't leak a lot. And just his rushes are insane as well. His farming, his rushing, and his targeting, I'd say. His micro, that's probably one of his weaknesses, I'd say. For 2019, his micro was pretty good. I saw him micro in 2019. His micro is pretty decent. But in today's standards, I don't think his micro is that good. But to be fair, I don't think micro is that useful as people think. I think micro is one of the more overrated things, I'd say. In most games, you don't need super insane micro unless it's you're using DFA and you need it to win. But with Dart from Super, you don't need insane micro. You need some micro because you're gonna have to tech tear and stuff. But with Dart from Super, it's mainly just spamming Sun Gods and Robos and stuff. But yeah, that's something that Simba could definitely improve on. But honestly, he doesn't really need to improve on it. He doesn't really need to improve on micro. He's not gonna need micro that often, I'd say. The thing is in nowadays meta, everyone goes anti-stall strats, NG farm heli, heli farm ice. In those games, most of the time you won't need micro. Micro is probably not gonna save you in those games, unless it's a really high money game. Then micro could be pretty important. But he does this play again, and I try to punish again, I did. But Simba has more lives, I'd say. He has a lot of lives, so he can just get away with it, actually. He barely even leaked to that, actually. Even if I kept sending $2,000 worth of whites, he probably would have been fine. Eventually he would have just got an eco boost, and he would have just got more defense, and then he just would have spiked if he needed to. But yeah, I'm in like a bad spot. I think if I were to give myself advice, I'd say just go dart from super against him. Because the thing is, like, I think the main reason I don't BIA against him is because I'm going dart from Mason, not dart from super. The thing is, like, I don't want to BIA against him because it's just gonna be a high money game, and I think I have a higher chance of losing that. I'd say, I think DFS has a edge in like high money games, so I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not trying to BIA, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm losing. I think if I were to give myself advice, I would say just go dart from super against him, and like just go for BIs, bro. Like he plays so passive early game, and I think I'm being way too aggro early game. I'd say, and that's and the reason why, because I'm going so aggro early game, I'm just not able to bank like as soon as possible. Like he just goes for his bank really early. I can't really go for my bank that early if I'm going like super aggro. We both end up boosting to that, and I want to set him a counter rush, so I end up bloom boosting here. Yeah, I'm trying to make him sell. Like look at those rainbows, and we'll see if he actually defends this. Oh, he actually goes. He actually ends up selling. That's actually a really good rush. The thing is, like every time I play him, I learn something. But I made him sell, but unfortunately, he ends up just getting it back. So that's unfortunate. Somehow he just gets his bank up. Like that's crazy. But I think like trying to sell a bank is just not worth it. Like it's if you want to sell a bank, you're just gonna have to send like $5,000, and at that point, your opponent can just like get up their bank or BIA like back. Like that's how he did. I sent him like 3 sets of rainbows, but now I just have no money. He just gets up his bank, and I have no money. I go for my ODS, but this is not it. There's so many ceramics. I screw up my ODS micro. I still end up defending that. I'm surprised. I actually ended up defending. But yeah, like at this point, I'm kind of just screwed. Like he has so much money, so I end up just surrendering. Like I could have tried to go late, but I know like it's kind of like playing chess. Like if you're in like a really bad spot, like there's no point in trying to go late. Like I'm just hoping for a choke at this point, and like he's just gonna be up so much money, so I ended up surrendering. But I don't know how long this video is. I think that's gonna be enough for today. But I'll try to upload more games against him. Like I had some interesting games against him, so these are not just the only games I played. And I'll try to upload the other games I had. I'll try to mix it up too. Like I don't want to really upload dark games, like only dark games. I feel like that's gonna be a bit like tiring for you guys. I think like some people might enjoy that, but like if I only upload dark games, just like dark mirrors like every single day, that could get tiring. So I'll try to mix it up. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Have a good day, guys. See you guys in the next one. Peace.